This is the outside of the Elddis Majestic 255. As I move along, I will firstly come to the gas locker. In here there is plenty of room for 2 gas bottles. On this particular model of motorhome, it does run a Truma drive safe system. So you'll see that we have the regulator just here, and then the drive safe hose comes off the regulator and then screws into the propane bottle and is tightened with a gas spanner. We then turn the bottle on and off in a normal fashion, just on the top here. But once we've turned the bottle on, we then need to just hold this button in here for about 3 or 4 seconds to purge the gas into the motorhome. What would happen if this hose got severed in any way? This valve here notices the sudden drop in gas pressure and then cuts the gas off automatically. On the regulator itself, there is also a crash valve just here, so if anything was to happen inside, again it recognises the sudden drop in gas pressure and then cuts the gas off automatically. And to reset this particular one, because occasionally they can be triggered if you go over a bump quite violently, just push the green button in just here, and again just hold it in for about 3 or 4 seconds to reset. The beauty of this system is that if you want to, you do not have to turn the gas off for travel. Next we have the external satellite point just here. And then we have the cassette toilet. To remove the cassette, just lift up on the handle just here and pull towards you. Before use, unscrew the cap and add your toilet chemical with a small amount of water. This is also where it empties from. Just remember that when you are pouring it away, to hold the button in just here to release the vacuum inside. It's also advisable to keep this seal lubricated. Thetford do their own seal lubricant, but any silicone based lubricant is fine. By twisting this part here allows access inside the cassette for additional cleaning. And all of these cassettes are now on wheels with extendable handles. Truma external hand shower point just here. So firstly remove the dust cap and then plug into the side of the motorhome, and then as long as there is water in the tank and the water pump is on, this will then automatically go under pressure. To remove it, just pull on the blue trigger and it will then come out, and then just replace the dust cover. Fresh water drain just here, so to drain down the fresh water tank, just turn. As I now come round to the rear, we have the Fiamma bike rack. To use this, just drop the rails, pop the bikes onto the rails, and then secure all the straps through the wheels of the bikes, and then position the arms and lock them round the frames. Above we have the rear view camera, and then the flue for the Aldi boiler. We do not need to do anything with this, but just make sure that nothing is obstructing it. Fresh water into the motorhome just here. As you can see, the cap can be locked. Pop a hose pipe in to fill it up, or alternatively use the submersible. You'll see we have a 12-volt power supply just here. Drop this end into a water barrel, and then pop this in just here, and then literally just plug in, and it will then become 12 volt live and suck the water out of the barrel and pop it into the fresh water tank. As we come round, we then have access underneath the fixed rear bed, and we can see at this point just here the location of the leisure battery. Spare wheel just here, and it winds down at this point here. In the jack and wheelbase kit there's a bar. That bar locates where my finger is, attach the brace to it and then wind it down. Anything that goes down your plug holes goes into the holding tank, and then the wastewater is drained off at this point just here. Mains hook up just here, and then beside that we have the external barbecue point. To use this you will need a barbecue adapter. So it's a brass spear about this long. Attach the hose of the barbecue to one end and secure it with a Jubilee clip, and then the other end just plugs in where my finger is, and that will then allow you to turn the gas on. To remove it, just push on the collar, push it up, and it will then release. Both vents for the Dometic fridge freezer, and this motorhome is supplied with winter covers for those vents, so if you are using the motorhome in cold climate you can pop these on to make the fridge run more efficiently. One for the top, one for the bottom, they are both the same size. Just literally start at the top, hook it in, and then with either a flat-headed screwdriver or the ignition key just turn these two parts, and then it will lock into place, and as you can see it will then only vent from the lower points. Do not have these on in the warmer months of the year, or otherwise the fridge will just overheat and not work correctly. At the top we have the Dometic rollout canopy, and to roll this out, take the canopy winding handle, pop it in at this point here, and then begin to wind it out. As you can now see, I've wound the canopy out a short distance. I always prefer to do this and then drop the legs for stability. That way you're not putting too much stress on the side of the motorhome or the canopy itself. To drop the legs, you'll see that they are sprung loaded, so just push in. It will then come out and drop down. Get the height that you require, and then just lock the leg into place, and then do exactly the same again with the other leg. Again, get the height that you require, and then lock into place. And now, as you can see, the canopy is supported, and I can then continue to wind out, walking the legs out as I go. As you can now see, the canopy is fully wound out. Never use these in high winds, as it does run the risk of being lifted up and flipped over the top of the motorhome. When it comes to putting the canopy away, wind it back in, walking the legs in to the point where we dropped them previously, and then it's just a matter of folding them back in again and then continuing to wind. Once the canopy is fully away, it will not wind in any further. You can sometimes find that when it comes to removing the canopy winding handle that it actually gets stuck in So just literally just push it up and then twist it round, and it will then release itself. Diesel fill just here, and the cap unlocks on the ignition key, and then beneath that we have the AdBlue top up. It will let you know on the dashboard when your AdBlue needs topping up. Tyre pressures on the door pillar just here. Jack and wheel brace all underneath the passenger seat in its own box. And then we have the vehicle battery underneath the floor of the cab. Bonnet release just here. The motorhome is alarmed, and it's all done through the main fob itself. So if I now lock it, we will get a single flash of the indicators and a single chirp indicating that all the doors are locked and the alarm is armed. If I now unlock it, we'll get a double chirp and 2 flashes indicating that all the doors are unlocked and the alarm is disarmed. What we can also do when we lock and arm the alarm is put it into what is known as pet friendly mode. This will basically disarm the internal sensors but leave all the sensors on all of the doors active. So if I now press the lock button once and then a second time, we'll get a high-pitched chirp indicating that the alarm has been put into pet friendly mode. If I now re-unlock it again and I now just slightly open the door and leave it on ajar, and now go to lock it again, we will get a series of high-pitched chirps indicating that the alarm has not set properly, thus being that this door has been left on ajar. It will do this if either the passenger or driver's doors are left slightly open, or if the habitation door is not shut correctly, or the bonnet is not down fully.